So I'm going to read just a few parables because I think that they're quite nice, and I'll explain a little bit as I read them. Parable number 11 from the Gospel of Thomas says, "If your leaders tell you, 'Look at the kingdom is in heaven,' then the birds of heaven will precede you, come before you. If they tell you, 'It is in the sea,' then the fish will precede you, come before you. Rather, the kingdom is within you and outside of you." Can you understand what that means? The kingdom is the spirit. The kingdom is you once you become aware. Because it continues and it says, "When you know yourselves, then you'll be known. Know thyself, and then you will know. And you'll realize that you are the children of the living Father. But if you don't know yourselves, then you live in poverty, and you are poverty." That right there tells you that when you become balanced from knowing yourself, you will know the absolute truth, and you will be able to manifest your own reality because you are designed by a true God that puts no limits to anything that you are, that puts no limits to any of his wisdom. You have access to everything if you're worthy of it. And your worth comes from knowing yourself and knowing thyself. Right there, that verse says everything. Parable 3, Gospel of Thomas. Gospel of Thomas, parable 113. His disciples said to him, "When will the kingdom?" Then Jesus said, "It won't come by looking for it." They won't say, "Look over here," or "Look over there." Rather, the Father's kingdom is already spread out over the earth, and people do not see it. And that again is something that is hard to understand, because if it's spread out, if you are the kingdom, remember the verse before gives you that wisdom. And here it says that the kingdom is already out over the earth and people do not see it because you are not seen in the right way. And I don't want to talk about the third eye here because it's too advanced. First, be good, because you should not get to those levels until you're ready. On my path of enlightenment, I never tried to use my third eye. I used to read about it and connect to your third eye, use your third eye. I never did. I used my heart only. I waited until I felt that I was ready to connect to that type of energy, because that energy has been used in a corruptive way, and it could make you lose your path, get corrupted yourself, and you'll never be able to understand what it was that you, or where it was that you made a mistake. So you have to wait. But right there, it tells you that the kingdom of heaven is already you, all over the earth, spread out all over the earth, and that people cannot see it. So the next parable that I like is number 46. It says, Jesus said, "From Adam to John the Baptizer, no one's been born who's so much greater than John the Baptizer, that they shouldn't avert their eyes. But I say, whoever among you will become a little child will know the kingdom and become greater than John." Why do they always talk about becoming a child, only the children? Remember what I told you about when you're developing your mind. You're as a little baby to probably about 7 years old, you're not truly aware of yourself. Your mind is developing. You don't know right from wrong. You're learning. What's guiding you? Your heart. What does this verse say? It tells you to become little children and you will have everything. You'll access everything. What does that mean? Very simple. Your heart. Go back to your heart. Go back to using your heart to guide you. That's how you become, that's how a man can become a little child again. Because it's the essence of pure spirit. That's where it comes from. That is the incorruptible consciousness. It's the only one that can connect to the source and give you everything that you desire. Are you getting it now? Are you starting to understand how simple wisdom is? The next one is number 27 in the Gospel of Thomas. If you don't fast from the world, you won't find the kingdom. If you don't make the Sabbath into a Sabbath, you won't see the Father. What is the true meaning of that? In our bodies, our physical bodies, we have 3 different points of consciousness, of awareness. It's only the cerebral consciousness that allows us to understand focus. Our heart is the one that guides us to goodness, to being good. And the energy, when you vibrate, comes from the navel. So when you fast, there's a lot of things that you do when you fast. One is your digestive system clears out the food, and what happens is that your body goes into a fasting, they call it ketosis state, which breaks down fat and uses it as energy. It's easier for it to create that. But there's one other thing that it does create that nobody is aware of or hasn't explained the right way. And I won't give you that until I go over it in other topics. Fasting is a representation of will. When you fast, it's hard not to eat, to smell food, and to stay away from it. But if you understand and you truly want to be good, because the only reason to be good is if you're seeking enlightenment, the truth. Being good, you can be good just by staying away from things. And that's not actually what God wants. You have to experience, you have to build your intellect, your intelligence, in order for you to reach new heights in understanding, in spirit. So fasting is a way to show your devotion, to express your desire, and to manifest your will over your body, because it's hard, especially if you go 3 days, 4 days to fast. So fasting is very important in reaching new heights within the spirit. The Sabbath is a day where your phone, everything is turned off. You are not using your mind anymore. That's what the Sabbath really means. It means that you have connected with your heart now, and everything is going through your heart. That means that you're not paying attention to things of the world, like running to the store, doing things. When you observe the Sabbath, it's when you disconnect from your mind and connect to your heart. That's what it really means. So the understanding of knowing yourself relates more to your mind, and knowing thyself relates more to your heart. Remember when I was talking about the video of the little kids being attracted to a certain type of face, symmetry, while they're developing their mind? How do they know what beauty is, what symmetry is? And I told you, because of the heart is the one that is active from birth until you become conscious and aware of self. And it's the heart, that consciousness is the one that guides everything else to manifest. So that's a very important part there, that if you understand that, you can call it cheat sheet notes. Remember that God has no name, and Yahweh Shiva is just the understanding of what is not manifested and what is manifested. This understanding is probably too deep for you right now without a balance within, but it does not resonate with religion, with a belief. It is a meaning of the wisdom, because for anyone to use this terminology, you really have to understand what it means so that it vibrates within and out. A lot of people have regarded Shiva as a destroyer or a demon. It's completely wrong. It's Shiva is one of the oldest gods, and we'll say that Hindu has a very long, ancient history, older than the Bible. And in fact, the Vedas predicted the coming of Jesus before he manifested. So those are some of the things that a lot of people don't know. That's why they don't understand the connections. Actually, the Gospel of Thomas, regarded to as the Kabbalistic teachings of Jesus. Why are they regarded to as Kabbalistic teachings of Jesus and not just say that they're lies? There is a lot of people that say that this book was never written, but if you read the words and if you're balanced within, you will know that it's his words. In fact, a lot of the words that are in the Gospel of Thomas are also in the Bible, almost verbatim, but they leave out certain keywords because they empower you. They empower you to dig deeper, to understand more, or try or want to understand more. And that's why they were left out. Because I believe that Kabbalah, which is the teachings of the spirit, of thyself, of understanding thyself. So it's very interesting that they leave that very important part out in a lot of places. But the Gospel of Thomas is something that you must search yourself. And I'll tell you that the verse Matthew 13:11 actually corroborates that there is a link to the Gospel of Thomas, because right there it says exactly what Jesus is resonating with